Dr. Amanda with Straight Smile Solutions, and today we're going to be talking about this case. And this could just be one of any case that you saw in your waiting room coming in. Maybe you don't have the whole picture yet, but you want to start the conversation about collecting more information so that you can really advise the parent and the patient on the best next steps for this patient. So in any case, let's talk a little bit about what I see and what some of the warning bells, the warning signs that I see that are going off in my head when I see this patient. First of all, I see likely a very long face. I see likely from here like a class 3 kind of profile. I don't know whether it's an prognathic mandible or a deficient maxilla. I'm not sure. It could be a combination of the two. We can find that information out. That's not a problem. But what I really see that's bothering me is the constricted maxilla that's clearly up top, is the retrognathic, possibly maxilla, where it's more behind. There's a AP discrepancy with the lower teeth more forward of the upper teeth. Probably a narrow palatal vault. You have to take a look. Clearly an open bite. Why? Open bites don't just happen, very rarely. Sometimes they are skeletal, sometimes it's just the way the jaws are growing, but these can be harnessed at a young age and often corrected and redirected. Even though it's hard to fight nature and DNA, you can do so many things to really eliminate that or to reduce the severity and make the child functional. But what's gonna happen here is that open bites is something that always gets worse, because you have to find out the source of the open bite. You basically need to be a detective. You need to go in and rule out one of like 6 to 10 different scenarios that could be causing the open bite. So there could be a history of a past or present habit. And sometimes these are hard to have that conversation about because a lot of times these oral habits are happening in secret. Can be pacifiers, fingers, thumbs, stuffed animals, other objects they put in their mouth when they're sleeping, when they're scared. Once you've already created that environment and the initial open bite, it becomes more difficult for the child to breathe, swallow, sleep. So they need to reposition their tongue in order to be able to adapt to this new aperture, because there's it's a different kind of environment for doing regular activities like eating, swallowing, speaking. So the tongue readapts, and it readapts in a negative way. Instead of going up, it goes forward. So you're basically reprogramming the muscle memory of the tongue. The child is naturally just to try to function in a daily thing. But by doing this, it actually further perpetuates the problem with the bite. And the bite keeps getting worse. So what else could be causing it? It could be adenoids, it could be tonsils, it could be a blocked nasal aperture. She could have a completely clogged up nose and just having to breathe that way. So many things. It could be problems with the physiology or the anatomy of the nasal structure. Keep going. Could be an abnormally large tongue. That's just some of the ideas. I could keep going. So you have to play detective work. You may want to work together with your child, this child's physician, ENT, to try to figure out the problem, solve that problem concurrently with really digging into how that tongue is acting now. Has the tongue already started to misbehave? Is the tongue doing stuff it shouldn't be doing? Is it resting in the wrong position? Is it functioning in the wrong way? It's a very difficult, it's almost like training a really, really difficult animal. The tongue is so hard to retrain. The younger the child is, the easier it is to retrain. The older the child is, the more difficult it is to retrain. And it's really like pushing water uphill. It's not gonna happen very easily. That's why we do have myofunctional therapists that can help us out. So yes, this may seem very easy to correct, and yeah, it's really quite possible. Throw braces on, pull some teeth out, put some funky appliances in, use some rubber bands, and great, we're gonna go ahead and fix that bite. And what's gonna happen? Guess what? It's gonna come back because you didn't fix the problem at its source. You didn't retrain the tongue. Everything will come back later, and it'll come back with a vengeance. And at that point, the child's not growing anymore, and now it turned into an oral surgery case. And if you didn't fully document everything you needed to document and do your due diligence, you probably are liable for this case because you didn't fix it the way you should have fixed it. So I do suggest for open bite cases, if you don't know what you're doing, refer it out. If you don't know what you're doing, refer it to the orthodontist, and hopefully the orthodontist knows what they're doing. And I see a lot of bad dealing with open bite cases. A lot of orthodontists don't even really know what they're doing. So collaborate with an orthodontist in your area who does treat these the right way. If you're interested in learning how to treat these, feel free to connect with me and our team, and we can connect you to one of many different programs and systems that will help you out. Straight Smile Solutions.